Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is July 3rd, 2018, one day before July 4th, Independence Day here in America. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got a song request from my man Michael Holiday. He wants to hear some John Legend, Who Did That to You, from that Django Unchained soundtrack. He says here, play this soundtrack to the bankers outsourcing. I don't blame you on that one, brother. Thank you for the song request, Michael Holiday. So what's good, YouTube family? What's going on today? We're going to talk about three things. One, I'm just going to touch on. I'm not going to actually cover it. I'll leave a link for it in the description of this video. That being, EOS has sold the remaining stash of Ethereum from the ICO, the 1 year long ICO. Those that were speculating that they were going to crush the market of Ethereum, as you can see, that did not happen. So you guys can get over that theory. I was having an argument with someone about that maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And just says it's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be an issue. These cryptocurrencies trade billions a day in volume, so $4 billion is not going to make a big dent, especially if done in a more responsible way. And that's exactly what EOS did. They liquidated in a batch distributed way. So second thing we're going to talk about today is actually Ethereum. We saw yesterday network fees spike up to $1, though activity has come down on the network. So we're going to talk about that, take a little deep dive into what's going on there. There's also some issues over on the EOS with RAM. I'm not going to talk about that today, but RAM has seen a 2,000% increase. And I said I was going to cover this RAM trading a couple of weeks ago. I played around with it, made some nice money, but man, this market is getting very hot on the speculative side of things when it comes to RAM trading. Again, RAM has increased 2,000% and it's causing concern within the community on how to mitigate this speculative behavior. I'm not going to talk about that today, like I said, but we'll try to cover that later this week. It's definitely an issue there as well. But the second article we're going to talk about is actually out of Bitcoinist, and it's pertaining to a new report that's warning EU policymakers not to ban Bitcoin. And it's crazy because I just got an email from Andrew Smith over at Veritasium, and he sent me the other day, he sent me a report, a detailed rebuttal to the BIS cryptocurrency report that I did cover, I think maybe about a month ago. So I'll leave a link to that as well. It's a 26-page report. I may actually end up covering my thoughts about it once I get done reading the entire report. Very detailed report by the Veritasium team. So shout out to Andrew and Reggie Middleton from Veritasium. But let's go ahead and first get into the market cap. We're currently sitting at $269 billion. Bitcoin's dominance is at 41.96%, almost 42%. Green across the board. But this is not showing the whole picture. Just like yesterday, now we're sitting right below critical levels. And I'm telling you, if we don't see a move back above literally 6,600, then I think we're gonna head further down. Now, you know, one could say we could definitely do something like this and then take another lockstep up like we saw here and here, but I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. I definitely need to see some price action above these levels to change my sentiment in the markets. So I'll keep an eye on that, guys, but let's go ahead and take a look at that first article out of Trust Nodes. Ethereum fees spiked to $1 even as transactions fall to 600 grand. Ethereum's fees have suddenly risen to nearly $1 per transactions, even as network usage is around half of its all-time high in January, when it reached around 1.4 million transactions a day. That's not a good sign. Ethereum is currently processing only 620,000 transactions, yet fees have suddenly spiked beginning around the time we were test running status on June 30th. The gas limit remains unchanged, suggesting Ethereum has capacity for around 1.4 million transactions, but total gas usage is at all-time highs. Gas is just a unit of measurement, similar to bytes in Bitcoin. You need to currently pay 97 GUI per gas for an Ethereum transaction, with GUI itself being a unit of ETH, as in 1 ETH equaling 1 billion GUI. So what exactly is going on here? It says, apparently some decentralized exchange project in China is asking people to vote for what coin to list, with the winner determined by how many addresses have voted. The idiotic setup may be a consequence of China's ban of cryptocurrency exchanges, which has clearly deprived them of some basic knowledge, such as the number of addresses is completely meaningless measure, as anyone can create as many addresses as they want. Yet a no-name project, which will remain unnamed, for we certainly don't want to encourage this sort of behavior, can't possibly be having so much influence. So when we looked at the stats yesterday, there was a different and unrelated project which accounted for some 30% of all transactions. An airdrop. Clearly, with such airdrops by one project or another being a fairly common occurrence and familiar feature in the top gas user listing. Yet if they are a daily occurrence, what is so different so suddenly? We can only speculate with the aid of some facts such as this table. So this table here, guys, is the top 10 miners by blocks mined. So Ethermine is number 1, Nanopool 2, Mining Pool Hub is number 3, and then we've got these addresses here. If we are correct in interpreting the above, F2 Pool and Dwarf Pool seem to have set their own limit, whereby they appear to not accept transactions below 50 GUI in fee, that being around 50 cents. Whether they just happen to be mining transactions with fees above 50 GUI or are refusing to mine transactions with fees lower than 50 GUI, we do not know, for we have not kept an eye on that table. The article goes on to say here, despite some protocol improvements to address their concerns regarding orphans or uncles, for which they get paid in any event, Ethereum mining pools have nonetheless still failed or refused to increase the limit. We can only think of greed as a reason. Despite receiving billions through block inflation, they may be thinking some high fees in addition would be something they could get away with. With the billions they receive, they certainly can't afford it. And as far as node resources are concerned, our pretty vanilla internet connection goes at 2 megabytes per second, while Ethereum is currently running at 1 megabyte per 10 minutes. Still, proof of stake will come soon enough, and Ethereum can get rid of these miners who cluster themselves under pool operators who probably don't care one bit about the network, but rather they can make an extra penny from some cats. So I'm not going to read the entire article, it's kind of lengthy, but I'm going to read this last paragraph. It says, for now, however, miners should just increase the limit and stop being greedy, or users might start getting angry and call on devs to fire them quicker. So yeah, this is definitely a problem, and we don't even have anything that's popular running on Ethereum right now. So you can see how those who are really behind Ethereum should be concerned, and probably are very concerned about the real use case for Ethereum, you know, as what it was envisioned for, this global smart contract protocol. It's just not going to happen at this state, and I don't even know if it will ever happen. Meanwhile, you have on EOS rolled out their issues there as well, with individuals speculating with the RAM resources, because on EOS you don't use gas, you need RAM to run your scripts, run your apps, so on and so forth. So that is a whole nother issue that needs to be figured out. You know, these are the beginning times of this new type of thinking, this new type of decentralized usage of resources. So this is an experiment that people are learning from, these devs, these teams are learning from. And so you gotta, you know, there won't be any perfect solution. I've said this before, but there will be 1 or 2 or maybe 3 that are best fit to be used in the real world. So You guys let me know, what do you think about Ethereum and their high fees? It's come down a little bit, and this should be really concerning to most of us in this space. But you guys let me know, what do you think about this whole spike in fees on Ethereum's network, and how can that be mitigated? The second one is out of Bitcoinist, and it is about the new report that's warning EU policymakers not to ban Bitcoin. It says here, a new research analysis on cryptocurrencies for the Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee of the EU Parliament cautions lawmakers neither to ignore nor attempt to ban virtual currencies. It says a contemporary form of private money. The report, provided by the Policy Department at the request of the European Union Parliament's Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee, is titled Virtual Currencies and Central Banks Monetary Policy Challenges Ahead. In it, authors from the Center of Social and Economic Research consider cryptocurrencies or virtual currencies as a contemporary form of private money. Referencing previous shortcomings of private money in the past, the researchers acknowledge that the technological properties of virtual currencies, like Bitcoin, for example, make it relatively safe, transparent, and fast. However, their anonymous and trans-border properties admittedly pose a challenge for financial regulators. Good. Unlike their 18th and 19th century paper predecessors, virtual currencies are used globally, disregarding national borders, says the report. It says virtual currencies will remain with us for a while. Virtual currencies aren't expected to go away anytime soon, particularly because of their decentralized and apolitical nature. What's more, the authors urge economists not to downplay the disruptive potential of this new technology. The authors admit that given the global trans-border character of virtual currencies, any attempt to ban them would result in certain failure. Instead, they recommend taxation on virtual currencies similar to other financial assets and harmonize regulations across jurisdictions. So I was talking to someone, they actually hit me up on Telegram and was very concerned about rumors about I can't remember what country was looking to ban cryptocurrencies. It doesn't matter, guys. Banning cryptocurrencies does absolutely nothing. It's like banning BitTorrents. Like, it just doesn't, you can't. It's too decentralized. There's no one person they can go after. Yeah, they can hit a few major institutions or exchanges, though I don't even see that. That's being to me, that's a counterintuitive. And if they would have done that, that would have happened well before now. It looks like they're working with these exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken and Gemini and so on and so forth. So them banning cryptos at this point, my assessment of that is almost 0%, which is the right way to go. I agree with them. Trying to ban cryptos will only let the public see that they're a force to be reckoned with, meaning the cryptocurrencies, because you can't stop them. It says here, can Bitcoin compete with national currencies? Earlier this year, Bitcoinist reported that co-founder of the Bitcoin Foundation said that Bitcoin could pop the real bubble created by central banks. The World Gold Council also stated that Bitcoin has the ability to undermine central banks. And there's that infamous "Buy Bitcoin" sign behind Janet Yellen. Given report, however, poured cold water on Bitcoin being a formidable threat to central banks, with the authors concluding that the answer is likely no, referencing current disproportionate differences in capitalization and usage between cryptos and sovereign currencies. Yeah, I have to agree with them. At least at this point in the foreseeable future, I don't see cryptocurrencies replacing sovereign currencies at all. It's just not ready for that type of volume. It would take forever for transactions to move around. Now, could other cryptocurrencies do it? Possibly, possibly that could be the case. There is some level of accountability that will start to raise its head in regards to these central banks and what they're doing with this easy monetary policy. I think that's going to 5 years, 10 years down the road really hold them accountable for their actions, because people will have other assets to escape to, i.e. cryptocurrency. So I just don't see it though replacing any sovereign currencies at this point in the near future. But what will happen is usage of cryptocurrencies will continue to rise, and these governments will try, in my opinion, all types of ways to tax your activity on the blockchain. Adoption will go much faster if we rolled in cryptocurrencies into the fabric of social media. And I think that's coming. It's being attempted with Steemit. It's going to, there are other projects that are attempting to do this. If you can weave cryptocurrencies into the fabric of social media, how it's used today by the younger audience and younger generations, and even the older generations, if we can get that intertwined, adoption will increase at a very, very fast pace. With technology, it's a very exponential growth scale, and then it may be a force to be reckoned with a little bit faster than what I intended and these governments. So you guys let me know what you think about this article. This is the report, the 26-page report from Veritasium. It is available, by the way, to the public. I asked Andrew that before I put this on the show, and he said, yeah, this is available. I missed the tweet from Reggie. Very, if you guys are really into economics and stuff like that, I'm really a big economic buff. This will be fun. So I just started reading it. Check it out. I'll link it below. And that's pretty much it for today. Make sure you guys get over to cryptoblood.io, copy one of those shirts, support the movement. That's pretty much it right now. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I am out. I'll check you guys later. Peace.